I said, still in love with you. Yeah.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Still in Love podcast. This is episode number 11, and what are we talking about today?
You're not my enemy.
Okay.
You're not my enemy. Sometime in marriage, it can seem like your spouse is your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's because what you all gone through. Sometimes it's a trick of the enemy that makes you think that, man, my spouse is my enemy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like her, and I don't believe she like me, you know, or I don't like him, I don't believe he like me, you know. And so you just think that, you know, yeah, like they can't be for me.
Mm-hmm.
They can't love me. They're against me. It's the little things that they do to really confirm in my heart and my mind that they are not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we begin to move forward as if my spouse is my enemy. And so it's difficult when, you know, it's difficult in dealing with an enemy at work.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you may be able to maneuver in that sense. It's difficult to deal with if you're in college or you're in school, you know, to deal with an enemy or somebody from across town or somebody on social media that's making comments pertaining to you. But it is really complicated when you feel that you're sleeping with the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, am I sleeping with the enemy? Am I sleeping with the person that is not for me, that doesn't like me, that don't have my best interest in heart? And not that you feel that your spouse will, you know, physically harm you or they're the enemy and they're trying to really take your life. It's just they're not for me, and I feel away, and I don't feel like, you know, we're on the same team. So when we say enemy, it's really we're not on the same team. We're on opposing teams. I don't hate you. I don't feel like you hate me, but we're not on the same team. And so oftentimes in marriage, I think, you know, you stay married, but it's an undertone of, yeah, I mean, you're not for me. And so we can go to the Christmas party. You know, we've had kids, but yeah, you don't like me. And quite frankly, I don't know if I like you. You know, what do you think, Tori, you know, are some of the things or some of the, you know, that happens in marriage that make one feel that, you know, my spouse is my enemy?
When you were talking, I immediately went to, all right, so what is an enemy? And I feel like, you know, how we're defining enemy is an opposer to me. And then my mind went to, of course, what the scripture says, the mission of our enemy is, which is to kill, steal, and destroy. And I don't think, you know, like you mentioned, that some of us, you aren't married to somebody who wants to kill you physically.
That's right.
But it may mean that they are consciously and sometimes subconsciously or not intentional and not intentional. Let me use those words. They are and I don't, this word is so harsh because it sounds so harsh, like they're killers of you or killers of something in you, but they are disruptors or they are destroyers to a certain extent. So, and I think if you believe that you're married to somebody like that, or, you know, you're feeling like my spouse really is my enemy, I would, you know, why? Why do you feel that? Is it something within you, which oftentimes is, or is it the actions really of your spouse? Like you could really feel like, no, I love my spouse, but me and my spouse are not on the same team.
Yep.
He's not for me. She's not for me. And we assume that because their actions sometimes display when you had an opportunity to do XYZ, to show up, to support, to love, to be, you didn't. You chose another route. When somebody chooses another route, you have no choice sometimes but to assume, dang, Okay, you had that choice and you made another choice.
Yeah.
So I'm left with that. So yeah, we sometimes sit in, yeah, my spouse is not for me because you had an option of choice and you didn't choose me, or you didn't choose something that was favorable to me. So I'm left with this. Now, do you stay there? No. Because sometimes, and we know this, we've said it 1,000 times, people are saying it. Sometimes what we feel, our feelings do lie to us. I could interpret what you did as you don't want me to win, or you didn't do XYZ when you had a choice to choose. You didn't choose me, therefore. Or I could give you the benefit of the doubt and say, is this a one-off and you just didn't do it that time? Or can I look back and see that there are multiple times when you didn't choose me? So I think it's determining kind of what that is, maybe where is it coming from. That's first before we move into, I think, some of the other ways that kind of shows up. Now, I have seen where couples, an individual in their marriage, has this selfishness that can be translated into, I don't rock with my spouse, or I'm not on team my man or my spouse, because they're operating from their own selfishness. Not that they don't want their spouse to win, but sometimes, here's the reality. Sometimes you're married to somebody who may be selfish.
Yep.
Sometimes you're married to somebody who may be jealous-hearted. Sometimes you're married to people who have character issues. That is what it is. And although they are believers, God has moved in their life, God is moving in their life, that's just an area that has still yet to be mastered or conquered or surrendered unto the Lord. So if that's in operation, like everything else, you have to talk about it and you have to have a conversation around it. But I have definitely seen that with couples where, yeah, y'all really aren't on the same team.
Yeah.
You're not really for him or you're not really for her. So is it unfortunate? Yes, because we're still human out here, guys. Like, you can't do that. And then I think that you're for me.
Yeah.
You can't operate a certain way.
And what happened? Because, when you said I do, you felt that your spouse was on the same team that you're on, and I think you become opponents. It's not necessarily an enemy where, because sometimes it can become an enemy, or you can feel like your spouse is an enemy, but you start off on the same team, and then they become an opponent, and then it translates to enemies, because sometimes, just even in sports, when you play against another team, they're your opponents. And, you don't like them, they don't like you. They're your opponents. But there are some teams that you dislike more than other teams. Everyone that you play against is your opponent. But now there are certain teams, it's like, man, listen, it has grown beyond it being, you all being our opponents. You all are our enemies. And we not only want to beat you, we want to hurt you, right. And sometimes even that in marriage, it's, hey, we're not on the same team, we're opponents. And when that is not addressed, when that is not dealt with, this adversary spirit, we're being opponents and we're not together, we're not on a team, and we're continuously feeding that, then you could eventually become enemies to where, I'm doing things out of spite. Right. Now I'm doing something to hurt you.
Right.
Because, whatever has happened, now it's a rivalry. Because what make games become a rivalry? Something happened in that game, in a previous game, and it continued to happen. And so somebody said in this game, hey, we got into a fight in this game. Okay, the next game I'm gonna get you back. So when we see y'all again, then we're gonna fight y'all. Okay, when I was in high school, we were rivalries with like Carver and Manassas. And I think back to where did those rivalries start? But I know when I got there, it was already rivalries. And so, and it started somewhere. We continued on the rivalry. Right. So Carver can come over there, and if Carver beat us, look, we're going to win the fight. They can beat us in the game, but we're going to brick their bus. Right. And so now we go over there, okay, now it's basketball season. Y'all bricked our bus during football season. We're going to brick y'all bus during basketball season. And so it moved from them being our opponents
Mm-hmm.
to it being a rivalry
Mm-hmm.
to them being our enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I think that's the same thing that happens in marriage,
Mm-hmm.
to where we're on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Now something happens and we're opponents.
Mhm.
You don't meet my need, I don't meet your need.
Well, I think even let's just stop there. If we started out and we're on the same team, something along the way made us feel like or think that we aren't working towards the same goal.
Mhm.
Because when you're on a team, we're both
That's right.
working to win. That's why players get upset with each other when another person on the team isn't giving their best. Come on, man. Like, don't you want to win? You out here sabotaging the team? Like, we want victory. And you're doing something that's causing us to not get victory. Or you kind of out here playing selfish and you're only thinking about you getting touches, you getting the ball, you scoring, and it's like, yeah, that's not being a part of the team. So something normally happens here.
Yep.
Before we even get to being, opposers, to being enemies, something happened when we were initially on the same team. And those things are, sometimes it is we're making moves as individuals. And when you're on a team, you can't make moves as individuals. You can't make individual decisions because I'm a part of something
Absolutely.
outside of myself. And I kind of think that's sometimes where it originates from. We're moving as individuals, and that kind of creates this separation where we're not on the same team. You made that decision and you didn't think about me.
Yep.
Or you're making a call, a play, and it's like, yeah, that wasn't part of the goal. Like, we're supposed to be doing this. Who changed the play up?
Yeah.
And sometimes momentum is crazy both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're an individual and you get a win as an individual in marriage, that builds momentum. So I am motivated. That's my motivation. And that's almost the wind and the gust to keep making decisions as an individual. Well, that creates a divide. You can't be out here in marriage making decisions as an individual. And then we look up and we wonder, how are we not on the same team?
That's
well,
good.
I'm making decisions. Are you making a decision as an individual on the team, or are you making it with your teammate in mind? And I
Give me a finesse. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Complete that thought. Give me a complete.
We don't. I know that this is gonna sound very aged and dated, or make me sound very aged, but I feel like we are a little soft sometimes in our approaches to certain things. Like I wasn't a big sports person, like I played softball, but
And basketball.
I don't want to talk about basketball. Basketball wasn't very successful for me, but I did well in softball, and so I understand the concept of team. I just never played on a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather, if I'm stinking up the place on a team, that I play on a team where somebody could tell me, hey, man, come on, man, you're going to have to run a little faster. Come on, man. Like, we winning, ain't we? And I just feel like I'm seeing so much more of this take place where people are in relationships and I can't really address you running slow, or you're not hey man, you keep missing, we're not going to give the ball to you anymore, we're going to have to throw it here because the goal is winning, right? So in marriage, you're not replaceable. I can't bring somebody else in to pick up where you're missing the mark. So because I can't do that, hey, come on, man. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to run a little faster. You're going to have to slow down. You're going to have to be mindful of somebody else on your team. You're going to have to be mindful. We probably both come to this team with different skill sets. I'm a point guard. You're a post, or somebody, whoever the person is that play under the goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got two different functions. I bring the ball down and I pass it to you and you score. If you start like not being, when I get ready to throw the ball and I'm throwing a fake or I'm doing whatever, when I throw that to you and you're not there, hey, I need to be able to look over and say, hey, man, why are you not under the basket? Why are you not? But couples, I'm finding, aren't able to say these
That's right.
things to each other. And people will perceive that, oh, that's a hard thing. And it's like, listen, guys, I don't know when we took a turn. I don't know when some of our emotional stability began to be very unstable. But listen, if we're on the same team in marriage, and I'm gonna communicate, every couple communicates differently. Every team communicates differently. We got to be able to say, hey, I feel like when you did that, you acted as an individual, and that wasn't cool that you did that. And we got another play coming up. This is our timeout. And sometimes we do need to call a timeout and say, hey, listen, what's up? Like, we good? We cool? Because I kind of feel like you out here
Doing your own thing.
and this ain't the time to do your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not about this. We're working towards the win. So I think that's where all of the confusion and all of this stuff comes from. Things happen. We make poor decisions. Nobody makes right decisions 100% of the time. We don't do it. So when we do make a misstep, hey, and a spouse checks in and say, hey, what's up? Like, you're doing this. Like, what's up? Own it. Don't justify it. Own it. Like, dang, I am being a little slow. All right, I didn't make that. I didn't do that. And now let's move on and continue to win. Yeah. So before we even get to, I think you don't fool with me. I think you don't. I think. Hey, let's go back and let's figure out. Maybe we started acting like individuals while we were playing out here. And because we're human, and some of us are coming from. Not everybody comes to the table with having pure hearts and pure intentions. Even though you say, I do. Some people do struggle. I got some character struggles. And you're married to people with character struggles. So they struggle with jealousy. They struggle with their own insecurities.
Yeah.
So that's going to affect how we play.
Yeah, but let me tell you, you said something, and I don't want us to just gloss over that because this is, I mean, your hand is, your finger's right on the pulse of it. And if we can navigate through this, we're okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the difficulty in this, the ability to accept constructive criticism
In marriage.
to be accountable in marriage. And that's a lot of times where the problem lies.
Yes.
So now you're functioning as an individual, because when you function as an individual and I communicate that I feel that there was a bad move, that
right.
you're missing layups, and you say, man, you missed too. Man, everybody miss. Man, like don't say nothing to me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say anything to you because that decision I didn't agree with, or that decision is hurting the team, and I can't say anything to you. Man, I see that all the time, in sports. If a team lacks accountability, or if a player lacks accountability and personal responsibility, man, that team and that player will suffer. And it happens the same in marriage, to where you have to be willing to accept accountability and personal responsibility, and say, you know what, when your spouse say, hey, listen, when you did that, I felt that you weren't for me. Your spouse got to be able to listen and say, okay, tell me more. Hey, listen, I apologize about that. That was not my intent. I'm going to correct that. And when that doesn't happen, now, because now your spouse feels, okay, you didn't take personal responsibility, so you're becoming an opponent. Because you're doing your own thing, and not only are you doing your own thing, I can't say anything to you about you doing your own thing. Right. And so now the marriage is one-sided. So this is how it happens. So now the marriage is one-sided because you do what you do, and I can't say anything to you about what you do. Now I'm feeling away over time. It's not automatically, it's not overnight, but over time, because I feel like it's unfair. And how do you get to do what you want to do, and I can't say anything to you about that? But I may do something, and you may say something to me about that, and I correct that, or if you say something to me about it, I'll change it, I'll make the adjustment. And so now I'm feeling frustrated because it's one-sided. And, well, since you do what you want to do, and I don't do what I want to do, I do what's best for the team. You do what's best for you. So look at this adversarial type of structure that's being laid to where I'm feeling that you do what you want to do,
Right.
but I do what's best for the team. You don't consider the team because, and this is why, because when your team have a problem with something that you've done or concerned with something you've done, you don't receive that. You're rebuttaling every time your team may say, "Hey, listen, this is how I like something." You have a problem with them saying, "This is what I like," and you make them think that no, you don't like that, or you should, you should like that. And it's like, man, wait a minute, I'm telling you, like this what I like, and that's what I've seen that happens in marriage. And so now the other the spouse who feels that I'm a team player, they say, well, you know what, I'm not gonna be a team player. I'm not gonna be the only one that's a team player, and my spouse is not a team player because I'm doing the things that I don't want to do for the betterment of the team, but my spouse is doing whatever they want to do for the betterment of themselves. So what do I do? So now I'm gonna do what I want to do. Since you do what you want to do, I'm gonna do what I want. And so now that's the infighting.
Yep.
So now your spouse got a problem. Now you doing this, not where you do this, what I don't do. So now we're fighting. So now we're opponents.
Yes.
We're opponents, and it's a rivalry.
Yep.
So now I'm hitting below the belt because you're hurting me, and we're taking turns of hurting each other.
Correct.
I'm gonna see how, also, you ain't gonna do this.
Call me. I ain't gonna call
I ain't gonna call you. You ain't check on me. I ain't gonna check on you. You ain't see about me doing the day. I ain't gonna see about you doing the day. And so, and sometimes I mean, you could be making love, you can be having a great time, but when that moment, when that opportunity comes for you to let them down, you do it. You pick it. Okay, even though we've been good, it's just because I remember this pain point that I felt when you did this. And so when the opportunity comes back around, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. And some marriages are built on this. But it starts with, and think about it, starts with, hey, you're not accountable to your spouse, and you're not taking personal responsibility. When your spouse says something about something, you become defensive, and you won't hear them, and it builds from that because you become defensive. And we talked about that in a couple of podcasts that a defensive spouse, man, like a defensive person or a prideful spouse, a prideful person, it's tough. It's tough to have success in marriage, and really, in most things when you're dealing with pride. And so, Tori, so it's now it's adversarial. Now we become enemies. I'm gonna see, how I can hurt you. We taking turns hurting each other. Because when you did that, and we talked, what's important in marriage is this: don't hit below the belt. You got so many couples that hit below the belt. Sometimes it starts off as it's no boundaries.
And what I will say, what I will do, how I will express my feelings, there are none.
Yeah.
And there's a price to pay for that.
So tell me some of the things you think in marriage that hey, this is hitting below the belt. Like, you don't go here in marriage. And I know it's based on individuals because, I may be able to take something, you may be able to take something, but another couple may not be able to take anything. This is very sensitive, so you got to know your spouse. This is sensitive to them, so you don't go there. A couple of things, Allison, I want to hear from you in terms of what do you think is hidden below the belt. Like, ladies, understand this. Therefore, a man hidden below the belt is when you just got to know your man, and he know that what's hidden below the belt. And when you do that, it becomes a problem. You never talk about anything sexual with him that hit below the belt, as if his size is a problem, or as if he doesn't please you. But that's a way that you're hidden below the belt because you feel some kind of way because you felt that he hit below the belt. So now I'm going to hit below the belt. And so these are certain things to where, I'm going to mess with his security. But you don't have a problem messing with his security because he don't have a problem messing with your security.
Correct.
And so I'm going to hit below the belt, and I'm going to say something about your size. I'm going to say something about your performance. I'm going to say something about you're a 2-minute brother or whatever. And these are certain things that just, man, you really did that. So now he's saying, I'm going to hit below the belt. So I'm going to talk about whatever, or my ex, or she was able to please me. So certain things you don't hit below the belt in is pertaining your husband, both ways. But I just want to speak to that pertaining men, because some women are so, when you speak, and this kind of can be ratchet, but when you, and it don't have to be ratchet, but even when a woman would say, and it's elementary, when they will in a subtly compare their spouse to someone that they've been with before. They can subtly do it to where, he pleasured me, but you don't. So they can let you know in a way that's not overt. And so things of that nature, things that you never do, in your marriage. And because, once you do that, you can't take that back. And he's just sitting back waiting on an opportunity to hurt you and to crush you.
Yep.
So what are some of the things that you think is hidden below the belt of marriage? Hands
down, past traumas, past experiences. If I have disclosed to my spouse that I have endured a measure of trauma, or sexual abuse, rape, anything that has caused any measure of trauma. It could be emotional abuse. It could be environments I grew up in that may have caused this trauma. If you bring that up in an argument, not only are you hidden below the belt, you really aren't for me. Because you took something that is very sensitive. You took something that is hard. You took a trauma and you threw that back at me. That's below the belt. That's in the back. That's upside the head.
Give me an example.
Don't do that.
Just an example of
let's say for women, I think women have endured sexual abuse. If in an argument you bring up you're acting the way you acted because you were molested or you were raped. You bring that up in an argument, alluding to this is why my behavior is a certain way. That's pretty low. That's really low. Hitting below the belt could also be if sometimes in different times in a relationship, and I don't want to say a spouse may have a one-up on their spouse. If you are in a better space, meaning if you're better with money, and I'm not, if you throw that up and say, man, that's why you broke. That's why you, it happens, okay? It happens. That's why you don't have, because of the way that's a little hidden below the belt. We come to the marriage. Sometimes you come to the marriage and we both well. We ain't horrible. But if you take an insecurity or a place where I'm not necessarily winning and you use that, you're hitting below the belt. If you know that I have a certain type of relationship with my parents or with somebody who's really dear to me, and you make it your business to bring them up in the heat of the battle or anything like that, I think sometimes that could be a hit below the belt. Like, you know how I rock with my mama. Like, why would you do that? Why would you bring that up?
Like, give me a instance with.
Let's say that my mom was not well. I've seen this. And because you know that my mom is not well, honestly, I feel like everything that I'm saying is kind of in the same vein. It's just don't take an area of vulnerability or hurt or pain and use that against me. But going back to the parent or child, particularly, I'll go there with a child. If we have a child and I did something that may have caused harm or something negative in a child's life, in my child's life, don't bring that up. We're already aware that I probably played a part in the reason why our child is this way or one way or the other. Hidden below the belt is kind of bringing it up while we're in the middle of a discourse or some measure of argument. So really everything I'm talking about seems like it just falls under or in the column of if there is a vulnerability or if there's a sensitivity to an area, don't go there.
Yeah.
Don't go there. And here's the thing, like, we have opinions.
Mhm.
We have opinions about everything. I have an opinion about you. Just because I have an opinion about you, I could say Myron is really selfish. I could think that in my mind. There are just certain things that you have to, within yourself, though, know that there are certain things that I would never say to him. And I don't think people have that.
That's right.
That you're boundaryless about certain things because you feel like, and I think part of this is culture encourages us to say everything that we feel. Well, I feel this and I feel that. It's just, some of it is just a matter of respect. I would never say that to you.
Yeah.
I would never, I may communicate certain things like,
You never
hey,
say what to me.
I would certain harmful words. I
Okay.
would never, you know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't say.
Mhm.
Just out of
That's
mere
right.
respect, out of honor for you and just people, period. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna go there. Like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
And I just think, unfortunately, that's not always the case. We just, for the sake of me speaking my truth or me speaking what I feel, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that, not caring that,
And Tori, I think a lot of what has to happen is that couples should have more dialogue and conversation about,
absolutely.
hey, listen, what are some boundaries that you just don't cross in a loving manner, and not, hey, listen, in the heat, because sometimes people want to
Yep.
communicate a lot, and you communicate a lot when
Yep.
you're arguing,
Yep.
and that's not the most effective time
Yep.
to communicate. Hey, you look, don't you ever say this about my mama? Don't you ever say this? How can you bring this up? But because in reality, some people don't know that's hidden below the belt,
Mm-hmm.
because it goes back to your childhood. When we fought,
Mm-hmm.
like, it wasn't no hidden below the belt. Like, you got some brothers that fought toward, like, they gonna hit each other, like, we gonna hit you with a bat,
Mm-hmm.
like, bro, like, cause we fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I know. So when I
Mhm.
get into a marriage, like, if we fight, we
Mhm.
fighting.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I don't mean any harm,
Yep.
but where you all may have fought to where, we fight, we don't hit
Mhm.
each other with anything. Matter of fact, we just do
Mhm.
body blows. We don't even hit each other in the face,
Right.
because we're sisters and we
Right.
love each other. We care
Right.
about each other. Because if you do that, then you're just like, oh gosh, that's
Mhm.
how you do sharing them down the street. But
Mhm. We don't fight like that.
yeah,
Right.
and so that's the same thing that happens. So now you bring this to the marriage, I bring this to the marriage, and
Mhm.
I fight when you said this, like,
Mhm.
going on. I'm like, oh, that's why because that's how I
Mhm.
fight.
Mhm.
And so don't assume that I'm not a team player
Mhm.
because I hit below the
fight
belt.
different.
I just fight different.
Right.
And I know we talked about that early
Right.
in marriage, because I
Hanging
fought.
up the phone in each other's face.
Yes. Like, let's get clarity on that.
Yep.
We don't
Hey,
do
we
that
don't do
anymore,
that. We don't
because
do that.
this is the emotion, and
Right.
just even me, when we first got married, I'm like, I'm up out of here,
Mhm.
because that's what I knew. I fought. If I'm
By
dating a
walking
woman,
away.
yeah. If I'm
Mhm.
dating a woman and it ain't going how I want it to go, I'm finna
Mhm.
leave. I'm not finna deal with this.
Yep.
Hey man,
Yep.
you married though.
Yep.
You don't fight like this.
Yeah.
I remember when, and we talked about this on another podcast, but it was early on when I didn't fight fair.
Mhm.
I was like, hey, because I was there, like, look, if we get to this place right here and I feel violated or disrespected,
Mhm.
I don't care about, your well-being, so to speak.
Mhm.
I care, but I'm not going to go the extra mile for you.
Mhm.
And you had the conversation with me. I remember this. I mean, it was probably our first year of marriage
Mhm.
or second year of marriage. And
Mhm.
you said, hey, listen, still I'm your wife in
Mhm.
essence.
Right.
Still care about me,
Correct.
about I'm like, no. Like, yeah, because you crossed the line. And so in my mind, you didn't fight fair when you did this.
That's
And so now
insane.
I'm not fighting fair when I do this.
Yeah.
But we have to communicate and
Yep.
say, hey, listen, I won't fight like that because I
Mhm.
heard what you said.
Mhm.
Now, when you did this is what it brought about in me.
Correct.
So I want you to correct this. And it has to be a lot of communication in marriage
Mhm.
in terms of, hey, listen, because there's certain things that you don't mind,
Yes.
and I mind. Certain
Mhm.
things that I don't mind and you mind.
Mhm.
And we not, hey, if you don't mind this, if I don't, if if you mind it and you don't like it, then I need to do it, even though I may not mind it. We have to communicate with each other, and I think so
And
many
get on the
times
same page
get on the
about
same
what we
page.
mind.
Yes, because there's so many people, Tori. I mean, it's couples that there's no communication, and it just need to be communication. And we need to, when hey, we out to eat, and let's have this conversation. Hey, listen, whenever you say this to me, this is how this make me feel. But you have to have the vulnerability to be able to
say,
express
you did
how
this
you feel.
and this is how that made me
You
feel.
did this, and whenever you
Correct.
do this, hey, listen, let's talk about it.
Correct.
When we talk about, like, I really don't want to talk about your exes. About what y'all did and how they made you feel, and what you just have to be wise in marriage as well. So I don't want to talk about this because it make me feel away. We together now.
Correct.
So I don't care what he did or what he didn't do. I don't care what
Correct.
she did and what she didn't do.
Correct.
We here together.
Don't
So
bring it up in here.
whenever you say that, this is what this make me feel. Whenever you insinuate, you just pertain to sex, this is how this make me feel. So it's never cute, it's never funny to me.
Yep.
And I feel away.
Yep.
When you say, I don't joke about you saying that, get your ugly self about here. Like, don't call me ugly, because I feel away when you call me ugly. And I think you have to be vulnerable enough to have these conversations and stop being so tough and so hard, and but you get offended when it happens. It's just,
and recognize when you are the spouse and your spouse is sharing something vulnerable, recognize that it was probably difficult for them to share that. So don't
absolutely.
laugh that off. Don't,
you
what
feel
I'm
away
saying?
about that? I ain't saying nothing, but you was ugly. Golly.
Okay, or discredit what they're saying. Even if you feel like, man, I know this man didn't just say this to me. I know. You got to take that like, oh, okay, so all right. I won't do that. Even if I feel like, man, that was really weak. Oh, that was really, because sometimes that's how we feel, like, man, oh, sensitive, man. Man, so sensitive. Well, I'm just saying, like,
that is very good, Tori.
And it's like, no, I don't get to discredit it. It may appear sensitive to me because of how I was raised.
Right.
That don't bother me.
Yep.
However, I want you to treat what may be an issue for me with that same condition, with the same care, because you simply care. Because I care, let me yield to that. I may see it as, but if that messes with you, or if that bothers you, okay, well, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. And I don't get to impose my view on how you feel about something on you. It bothers you.
That's
so
right.
I'm not okay, I won't say it.
And this is how it should not go. And this is what so many of us do. This is how it should not go. So tell me that what I said made you feel away.
So when you called me, now he did not do this, so let's put this disclaimer out here. When you came in the other day, you told me.
So this did not happen.
No.
Yep. So, but if this happened, this is how you don't respond, men.
When you came in the other day, you kind of was fussing and complaining, and you called me lazy, because things weren't done the way you wanted and in the time frame that you wanted them to, and it made me feel some type of way.
You felt some kind of way because I called you because I said you was lazy.
Yes.
So that made you feel some kind of way.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So like you feel a way about that because I'm sorry I called you lazy then. That's not how you deal with it.
Why do we deal with it like that? Why is that the response from people?
I think sometimes it's
when somebody tells you that you did something that I didn't like, why is your immediate reaction to discredit what they just told you?
To discredit or dismiss it because don't say anything to me. They don't want to take any personal responsibility for what they said. It is pride. It is, it's just, and I think over time, I mean, and it makes their spouse feel away. Like I'm expressing, it goes back to what you said. I'm expressing to you how I feel, and now you just dismissed what I expressed to you. It took a level of vulnerability for me to
Yes.
share this with you
Yes.
because what I wanted to do was just pay you back for what you did.
Correct.
Since you said I was lazy, I'm going to
Correct.
find an opportunity to call you trifling or find an
Yes.
opportunity to say that you ain't got enough money. I'm going to find an opportunity to
I'm gonna find an open door.
you
and
see what I'm
coming
saying?
in.
Because I know there are some insecurities that you have as well, and I'm gonna attack that.
Correct.
You know, and so I'll just wait my turn. So I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have humbled myself enough to express to you how I feel, and you're dismissive. And it's because of, I don't want to own it. I'm prideful. I feel away. No personal responsibility. I don't really do wrong. So get over it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's happened in marriage. And so now you feel that, hey, I'm your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your enemy.
Yep.
I'm your adversary.
Yep.
And so we're going back and forth because now when you do that, okay, also, when I do that to you, so now what you do, okay, I'm waiting on a moment, okay, yeah, that's why you, whatever, you in your own way, you're going to get me back. And so now I'm thinking, she going to say this, okay, she going to say this in front of people, like going to make me feel like I'm less than a man in front of people, okay? So now I'm waiting on opportunity. Man, let her not pick that plate up and put it in the sink. I'm like, I'm going to have a look on my face like, and I'm going to grab the plate and I'm going to put it in the sink because I know how that's going to make her feel.
Correct.
So now, and so here we are.
Yep.
Now we still hanging out, we still buying each other gifts, but it's this undertone that we have. And so we feel like,
you're not for me.
Yep. We're at odds with each other.
Yep.
And I think this was good. I
Man.
think this is going to bless a whole lot of people. I pray that this episode blessed y'all on today because it really blessed me. It blessed me. What about you, Gary? Did it bless
It was good. And as always, don't just start in love.
you? But stay in love.
See y'all next time.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Still in Love podcast. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode and it has indeed blessed your life. If it has, we need you to do 3 things for us. 1, we want you to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform so that way you can be notified when a new episode drops. Number 2, we want you to review it. Click on that 5-star and let us know how much you enjoyed it. We absolutely love feedback here at the Still in Love podcast, and this helps us to make sure that we are scratching where there's an itch. And number 3, we want you to share it with a friend or family member. Also, if you have a question, we'd love to hear it and even talk about it right here on the podcast. You can submit those questions at stillinlovepodcast.com. You can also connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Innovation Church Memphis and on TikTok at We Are Innovation. Until next time, peace.
Don't just start in love,
But stay in love.
Thanks for tuning in to Still in Love podcast. God bless.